vertical happy planner. I have printed my photos mostly in black and white squares, and then I did 2 photos in color because we did go to the fair this weekend and had such fun. So I pulled this scrapbooking paper out of my stash. This is from Paige Evans. I've also pulled out a big Mombi stick and I like this one that says Everyday I Love You because it has all the rainbow colors that are in here. And then I also have Color Story. It's not that, doesn't say which one it is, but in essence, I was looking through it for all the colorful kind of quotes that I can pull from in this one. There's probably other ones I can use too, but I just kind of grabbed these real quickly just to kind of get this layout done. So I have them lined up at the top right now, and I do like the way that is looking. I'm just trying to see if I wanted to do this very linear layout, because this one actually turns out to be very linear too. So let's be honest, I can probably put like a row of these hearts here and here, or maybe do a whole 2 rows. That way it just looks consistent, even though this side will get blocked a little bit. And then perhaps put this Everyday, I can call it there, Everyday, and then I Love You under it. And then we can have that whole thing. That looks like a good idea. Or also I was thinking of doing it vertically, but I think the page before we did a vertical thing. So actually doing something horizontal-ish might do the trick. So that I am liking. So what if we did, because I really like the hearts. What if I did 3 layers? Is that too much? And then have the pictures on the top? That still gives a lot of space for journaling. So maybe we should do 3. So 3 layers of hearts, and then 3 layers of hearts over here, even though some will get blocked there. Then have Everyday I Love You. And maybe I really don't need anything else on the bottom. That could work too. Okay, so let's keep this one as a chatty one just so that you can always see my process. So if I have them up there, so I'm thinking of the 3 layers. So actually, let's just cut those pieces first. Oops, sorry. And let's cut off the branding strip. Okay. And we'll do 3 layers and then 3 layers. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Then I usually will always take this paper, as you probably know, I really don't measure per se. I always just kind of line it up and then mark it and then cut it again. That's my version. And so, yeah, that could really work out. So we're going to keep this one simple, right? Or maybe just have it enough where I kind of cut off some of the hearts. So I'm just kind of looking as if one of the hearts, because then it would give you enough down here to play with. Or should it definitely just be 2? Because I am adding that little long sticker. So we'll really only have this part, which is fine. Because I do know sometimes those that memory keep, you know, say that they don't have like that much to write, especially if you do a lot of photos. And that's okay too. So maybe we should just do 2. Right? 2. And then 2 on this side. Because then we would line them up. Yeah, that can work. Okay, so we're gonna do 2 layers. So we should trim these down one more time. Okay, and we'll take off this layer. So the photos that we have here too. So Maui got a haircut in which we took off all his golden doodle locks. Sometimes we get fearful that Maui gets too floofy as a golden doodle. And so we give him a real short buzz cut in order to have him cool off aesthetically. Because remember, I live in South Florida and it is hot here and he is an all black dog. So I worry about him. So that's one of the photos. Where did it go? Of him with his, oh gosh, where'd it go? It went somewhere. So that's one of the photos. Then my best friend finally delivered her baby. So I got a baby photo. We took Vale to the park. And then, of course, the fair. So the fair is always like the highlight. When it comes to town, we definitely go. I always buy the tickets like ahead of time. So we got them for like really cheap and had a great time. And we get Vale the like wristband that she can ride unlimited rides. So over and over. And so, but she has to get off the ride and then get back online in order to keep it fair for other kids that have been waiting. And she has no problem doing this, and she knows how, and she immediately just gets off and runs back online. It's the cutest thing ever. She really gets into like being her own little person. And we're just kind of sitting there, you know, we get an icy, we come back, we rotate, we go get a drink, we come back. And she totally, too, this year got into, like, the little fun houses. You know, when they have, like, the little, like, moving floors and the rotating stuff and a bunch of crazy stairs. Oh, there it is. Crazy stairs to climb. Like, she really got into all of that this year. It was, usually she's been afraid if one of us don't go with her. You know what I mean? So that's always cute to see. Oh, and then this photo too. So we do allow her to play with like kitty pretend makeup. I printed it in black and white. So I should have remembered that. But she puts on all the colors. Like her eyelids will look like rainbow. And she's always like, Mommy, look, you know, like I did my makeup. And you know, you have to be like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. So that was when I was just like, close your eyes. And literally she probably had like purple and yellow and then like green and pink on this side. And she just thought it was awesome. As she should, right? So those are all these stories in these photos. And so that's the journaling that'll be below about just going to the park. And actually too, in this park, it's a new park that's attached now to the newest library in town. A lot of the libraries have been getting closed and then open because they're doing like remodels, but this is like a whole brand new building, which I love to get my books at. And the park is great in front of it too. So we could take her there, and then I can usually be like, oh, let's go see and get some books to read for bedtime. And I can pick up a new one too. Even though, like, here's always like my qualm about reading from library books. My problem with it is that there are some books and there are some weeks that I power read books. Like I can read, on average, I think I read about 5 books a month. That's been like my normal average lately. And sometimes I feel like there are books that I obviously get enthralled in and I will finish in 2 days. You know, I really just love it and you want to power read it. And then there are other books that take a little bit longer. And so I always feel like this happens with my library books that I read longer with. And so therefore, like I have to return it because if it's a new release, you only have it for 2 weeks and then you have to share it and give it back and whoever's next in line to borrow said book. And these are the times where I'm always like, gosh, like I didn't get to finish it. And so then I always retort back to like, this is why I should just buy all the books I want and blah, blah, blah. And I've been pretty good. Like I don't splurge all the time. I am part of Book of the Month and I love Book of the Month. I've been there for 2 years, and those books, I think the club is like $15 a month once you've been in it, which is affordable for hardback copies, which is also great. But then I truly do get lucky finding books, not every single time I go to the thrift store or wherever, but I can always find at least a title that has been on my TBR that I do want to read. And so I go to the thrift store at least once a week just to kind of see what the shelves are at the thrift stores. And I can always find them. And at the thrift store, at most, my book will be $3. At most. It'll be like, you know, marked for like $2.99. Most of them are always $1. They're always $2. And I love finding books at thrift stores. Because also my problem is that I do like to keep my books on a bookshelf, but I only keep the books that I enjoyed or gave like a 5-star reading to. If I thought it was horrible, or 1-star read, 2 or 3, I really don't like to entertain them on my bookshelf because I only want to keep the ones that I really enjoyed. And so that's always my, not to say problem, but that's one of the reasons why sometimes I do enjoy getting them at the thrift store, because if I spent money on a book and then didn't like it, oh, I would be crushed. But I understand that happens. Like there was actually one disappointing read I just finished from Book of the Month. It was my December book, I think. December, and it was called The Family, and the whole title and everything looks like the Godfather title. And I just had high hopes. It's about like exactly like these two families in the mafia, and they have two daughters, and obviously the struggle for power and something, and like the synopsis reads about like, how do you keep the power and maintaining your friendship kind of stuff. So I'm just thinking like these two daughter characters are going to be like involved in some sort of, I don't know, like story about the mafia and stuff. I'm always drawn to like mafia stories, and this book was just so boring. It was boring. And so that's my point, is like, so now this book that I spent full price on with Book of the Month, I'm so disappointed that I don't want it on my bookshelf. I don't want to keep it. I thought it was terrible. So this is my point about like some books. So that book, obviously, I don't want to keep on my shelf. And so I will discard it. And so now I've been looking into as well, like how to resell some of the books that I don't want to keep, or that I read and that just weren't, to me, worthy of keeping it on my shelf. And there is an app called, I'm going to say it wrong, like Pango, Pango, I want to say. And it's kind of like Poshmark for books. If you ever know what Poshmark, or like Macari, people sell their used books, which is great. But don't get me wrong, like I said, I usually buy my books for $2 or $3 when I get lucky at the thrift store. And no one on this app yet sells their books for $2 or $3. And I think shipping is like $3 if you buy anything, which still, don't get me wrong, if you don't have access to Goodwill and everything else to get your books at such a good rate, this app is fine. So I just feel like I might be selling my books there. And I want to sell them for, I mean, here's the thing. If people really make it into a business, I can see how charging like almost retail prices is great, because you want to make your money back on said book. But for me, I'm just trying to like pass on the love. I just want to, hey, here's the book back. You know, who wants to buy this book for $4? Just that it's not on my shelf. Is where I'm at. So if I start mine, I might just be selling like all my books just in general, maybe just like $5, just because I did already source them and read them and spend all my gas looking for them. But it's just funny that now this app exists. And I also thought about, if you know anything about doing it for Amazon, I'd be curious, because I see people do this all the time too. And I'm always curious, because like I said, I do come across a lot of books that I could potentially resell and start like a little side business with. But you never know. You never know. Okay, so as I was talking with you, somebody just put some copy paper behind there, because this was a clear sticker, and I didn't want the grid line from the back to show through, which is why I just covered it up. And so I think I just will leave it as such. I like it. I was going to add like more quotes and stuff on the bottom down here, but I just feel like with my text, it'll be just fine. And it's really simple and cute. And I love why it still says simple and cute, but the scrapbook paper has all of the brush strokes from that Page Evans paper. So this one's cute. Simple, easy, and we chatted through it. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. And until next time.